Hey y'all, hey YouTube world, anybody who follows my channel of dealing with non-epileptic seizures, hey to you guys. If I know you well, hi, good morning. If I've never met you before and you've stumbled across this, then I pray that it can be helpful for you, or at least you know you're not alone. Really quick, if you guys hear my dog in the background at times, he's going crazy over a toy, so sorry. But I just had to jump on here really quick and make a video about PNES and the fact that these non-epileptic seizures, now that the neurologists diagnose it, they just send you on your way, and then they just assume it's all psychological, you know, and I'm not saying that it isn't. Maybe in some cases it is. You just end up with a diagnosis and then left like, what do I do, right? But I've talked about that. What I want to talk about today is when you encounter the resistance side of it, when you encounter the people who maybe don't support you the way that you need, or to be honest, the ones that think it's okay to decide that you're making it up or that you're faking. I know that people with PNES, unfortunately, have probably at some walk with it experienced this, and it breaks my heart. I was fortunate enough to, other than a very tiny amount when I first went to the hospital, to not experience that from anybody at the hospital, not from a doctor, not from a nurse, nothing like that. And then I've had a really good support group, but I did experience it the other day. And I understand. First, let me start from the other person's standpoint, right? I understand that when things don't make sense, we look for answers, okay? We look for answers. And when you hear psychological, then it would be easy to come to some kind of conclusion that you can control it, right? Or whether you can control it or not, this is for attention, that whole stance, right? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt here, okay? I feel like people do the same thing with depressed teenagers and suicidal teenagers and even some adults, and I can't stand that response, and I'll tell you why. My theory has always been, right, if you have a teenager or you're around someone who is talking about suicide, right, and you're convinced that it's just for attention, it's a cry out for attention, okay? Even if you are 100% right, that's a pretty big cry out for attention. Where is that teenager or person not getting a need met that they feel the need to reach out for attention to such an extreme? And why aren't you, or why aren't we, taking notice of it and seeing what we can do, okay? I'm just being honest. Instead of saying, oh, it's just for attention and pushing it to the side, why wouldn't we investigate it? You know, if you're so convinced it's for attention, then what can we do to help fill a void in that person that they're reaching out like that? Now, that's my little spiel on that. Non-epileptic seizures, I feel like I can't even put in that category because this is not a planned out thing. This is not a one day I just decided I was going to start having seizures, and then, oh, to my surprise, they're non-epileptic seizures that make even less sense. So when someone just flat out decides that they're not convinced they're real, and I'm not talking about the people who are skeptical about the diagnosis. I'm not talking about those that are like, I just don't know if that's what they are. I just don't understand PNES. That's fine, because I don't. But I'm talking about the people that flat out decide they want to say, I'm not convinced they're real. And when you say, what do you mean? I'm not convinced you're really having them. Or I'm not convinced that every time you have one, that it is a real one. And then you say, so wait, I'm trying to understand. Are you insinuating that sometimes I have seizures and sometimes I fake seizures? Well, yeah. I'm not convinced that's not what's happening. Okay. This is a rant video. I try to keep them encouraging, but y'all, I know there are people out there with this that need to know they're not alone in feeling this way. When someone says stuff like that to you, it is like shattering. It's shattering. It is beyond my comprehension, especially people who have seen. When it comes from someone who's seen you have seizures and seen the effects it's had on your life, it completely boggles my mind. What length are they reaching for answers that they think that would be a solution? And then on top of that, where do they think it would be appropriate to voice that to you? You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. So let this video be about this. 1, if you are someone who knows someone with non-epileptic seizures or any kind of health issue that is not explainable at the moment, support does not look like doubting them. Support does not look like coming up with answers that would put all the blame on them. It just doesn't, okay? It's hard enough walking with something that you don't know and you don't understand. It just is. There's already enough shame and guilt that come on with that. Please don't add more. Now, again, I'll say, if you are walking with someone with that type of condition and you think that there's a level of attention that's being cried out for, be helpful with it then. Don't present it like you're faking. Why don't you present it like, hey, do you think there's any areas in your life where you feel like they're not getting met? Your needs aren't getting met, and maybe your body or your mind's like reaching out for it, calling out for it. You know what? Present it like that. That might be appreciated. That might make the person go, well, I don't know, let's talk about it. Let's talk through this. Let's see. No one's asked me that before. But when you say, I'm not convinced they're real, you instantly shut that down. Instantly. Because you don't know what it's like to be the person who's having seizures that they can't control and they don't know when they're going to happen and have changed their entire life and the people around them. You don't know how hard it is to sit there being that person and then hear that, oh, they might just be fake or for attention. That would be like you breaking your leg and having to be in a full leg cast and me coming up and saying, I'm not really sure it's broken. I think you did that on purpose because you wanted a cast, because you wanted crutches, because crutches give you attention. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like I said, if you're someone who is trying to support someone with non-epileptic seizures or something that's not easily explained, then support them. Okay, before you just say things like that and blurt things out, think about how it's going to come across and think about how else you can word it that would be a positive or supportive way, whether you think it's for attention or not. If you're someone with non-epileptic seizures or other conditions that are unexplainable, I'm sorry. Okay? I'm with you, and I'm sorry that there are people that are going to make you feel that way. And I thought this whole time, you know what? I've been so blessed because no one's made me feel that way. And then, well, bam. And it hurts. You know? If it was a random person commenting on a YouTube channel, I could go, oh, okay, well, they haven't seen it. They haven't seen the effects. They haven't seen that in order to get attention, I wouldn't give up all this stuff. I wouldn't cause all of this stuff. So when it's someone who has seen it, it hurts. So I'm with you guys, okay? Don't let that, do not let that get in your head. Try your hardest to not let that get in your head. Do not let people's reactions steer you from getting the help you need, okay? And right now, I don't know what the help I need is. I know I have a counselor who I love that we're trying to figure out if we can even find a doctor who will see me for it. We're trying to come up with as much as we think that could correlate to it, you know, psychological or physical or anything. I mean, she's walking alongside me with it. She's not scared of it. She's told me that, and that helps. You need someone like that, whether it's a counselor or a family member. I would recommend a counselor because that pressure and that guilt is off. But if you've been hurt by other people during this, which I'm sure if you've been living with it for long you have, I'm so sorry. Let this be an apology from them, whether they ever ask for forgiveness or not. I'm asking now for forgiveness for that because it hurts. And you need to hear that that's not true. And you need to hear, I'm sorry for even thinking that. That's what I need to hear right now. I don't know if I will. I probably won't. And I have to be okay with that. But if this can be that for anybody else, then I pray that it will. Because the pain that causes, you don't need to sit in. You don't need to carry. So, I don't know. This video, again, I feel like I've just been getting on here and been feisty or ranting. But that, I just had to get that off my chest. So, thanks again for letting me process. You're not alone if you're someone with PNES. You are not alone in the fact that this doesn't make sense. And if you're someone supporting someone with PNES, you also are not alone. Okay? You're not alone. If you have been someone who has made a person feel like they're faking it, you know what? There's grace. There's second chances. There is a way to say, I'm really sorry if that made you feel that way, or if it came across like that. What I actually was thinking was this, or I'm here to support you. I'm here for you. You can correct that. There's new days. Every morning there's a new day. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you for letting me process and rant. God is still good through all of this. He is the one that will never let us down, because people will let us down. We will let people down. It's human nature. It's going to happen. But we have a God who never will, even when we don't understand it. So, yeah, that's all I got. Sorry, it's a big old rant time and negative, but I promise to be real, and this is real. This is how I'm feeling today. I'm frustrated, and I didn't realize that I would still have some hurt from it. So, anyway, I love you all. Have a wonderful and blessed day.